right there working on Paul Tracy. His teammate Tarso Marquez, who is out of competition now, but also moved over to a Lola for this race.
And as these cars pick up speed as the track dries out, we're more likely to see a mechanical problem as the cars are punished over these bumps.
Montoya's position over second place Jill DeFerrin has remained at 5.2 seconds the last 2 laps. Herta, Tracy right behind them, and Unser Jr., and then Carpentier. Rick DeBrule
standing by with Adrian Fernandez, who was a late rain victim out there, correct?
Yeah, we were doing pretty good now with the dry tires, and you know, it wasn't completely dry, but it was pretty good. And unfortunately, I just dropped a wheel where it was a little bit wet into, I think, the inside of turn 8, and that was it. That put me into the wall.
You had a great run going up until that point.
Exactly. No, we were running strongly, and you know, it's what it takes. You need to finish to be able to get some points. So this time didn't work, but next time we'll get him.
Now he's sitting in the pits, guys.
Montoya, Robbie Gordon just ahead. Traffic going to be his problem now. We'll have the Winston Cup from Sears Point as soon as this race is over. Whoa, everybody likes the break there. In fact, we'll take you right to Sears as soon as the checkered flag comes out. Will it be for Montoya? This race has often not been decided until the last lap. And with traffic in front of Montoya, that's only going to add to his woes.
As fast as Robbie was running before the pit stop, Montoya probably would like to have anyone else but Robbie in front of him at this point, because DeFerrin has now brought it from just over 5 seconds to 3.7 seconds on that last lap. So DeFerrin's closing in. The guys behind him are driving extremely hard as well.
DeFerrin's going to have to get around P.J. Jones, which is no small feat. On the 78th lap, he was at 8 seconds, and 77, 7.8. And look how he's whittled it down last time by at 3.7 seconds from first place. Montoya back to Jill DeFerrin. He's got to get around P.J. Jones. Back onto the pit straight. You can see the advisory move over flag being given to Jones. He pulls wide. DeFerrin comes to the inside and comes forward. We're looking for Herta now. Here he comes. Paul Tracy just behind him. And just behind this, Unser and Carpentier also running very close.
And it looks like Michael Andretti is not having any further problems with his gearbox. He's maintained about the same cushion back to Herta. But Tracy pushing Herta very, very hard at this point.
If you're waiting for the Winston Cup race from Sears Point, you will not miss the green flag. Got this all figured out. You'll see the checkered here at the end of the Card FedEx Championship Series, and then we'll send you right out to the West Coast for Winston Cup. The officials counting now at 5.5 minutes to go in the race. Montoya, DeFerrin. The interval has extended to 5.9, almost 6 seconds. This will give you a look at the interval. He's through. Here comes DeFerrin. DeFerrin is the one now with slower traffic in front of him. Michael Andretti, he's struggling with those gears, but he's still able to stay in third place.
We can see Montoya got around Robbie Gordon. Probably Robbie letting him by, knowing the position with the leader behind him, because Robbie was running as fast as anybody on the racetrack. Just being a professional, letting the leader through.
Interval widens out first to second. DeFerrin now 7 seconds back. Still focusing on Brian Herta and Paul Tracy. That fight is for fourth.
See how wet it is still on this section of the race course. They still have to be very, very careful. They're running about 1.5 to 2 seconds slower than they were in the opening stages of the race. And it has to be primarily because of the water still standing down in turn 8.
Yellow flag being shown at the start-finish line. Robbie Gordon spun going into the first turn. And got going again. There you see Robbie pulls away. DeFerrin had to drive around Robbie Gordon, maintain his second place position. The interval widens, 8.2 seconds. Montoya is driving away. show you the full field as it sits right now. 8 cars on the lead lap. Good runs, especially by Al Unser Jr. and by Mimo Gidley. Come in there and collect a point for this race. Moreno again with another great run, replacing Mark Blundell, who kind of hedged it a little bit when he visited us up here in the booth. He said he hopes to be back in 2 weeks at Road America, but it didn't sound like he was all that sure.
As you mentioned, great run by Mimo Gidley in his second outing in a Champ Cars, picking up a couple of points if he can get it to the end. This track is very difficult to learn because it's so flat and so wide. There are no visual references. It's difficult to learn this track and get into a rhythm. Tarso, Marquez, Gidley, and more importantly, Juan Montoya, first-time visitors.
You saw Herta as he ran off course, back on. Tracy got by, now little Al gets by. Now Herta gets back up to a full steam. But Al Unser Jr. stays past him. Carpentier comes in behind him. So does Moreno. You will not miss the green flag for the Winston Cup race. They are holding for you. We'll get this one done in just a very few minutes, and then we'll send you right out to the West Coast. 2 minutes now counting to the end of this race. It switched from a 100-lap run to a timed race because of heavy rain showers, thunderstorms in the early going. Long period of caution, and then on rain tires they went back to racing, and finally as the track ride had to switch over to dry tires. Juan Montoya looks like he's going to do it again. A 9.6-second lead on second place, Gil de Ferran. But remember, the racetrack, the airport, has been beating this car at every corner, and the car must survive to the end. The question now is not so much whether or not Montoya can keep it there, it's whether or not the car will stay under him. No indication that there's anything wrong with that machine, but you have to consider the fact that it's been punished, and the punishment has been brutal.
In Montoya's favor, the Ganassi Target team has had remarkable reliability over the last few years. Montoya making so few mistakes during the course of this season. Very, very tough mentally, very consistent, and very aggressive. A difficult combination to obtain at best.
Now, obviously, because we're going to run right to the end of this race and then switch you out to the West Coast for Winston Cup, the winner's interview will not take place here. That's just a factor of time. But it will be later on RPM tonight. Next time by, Montoya will see the white flag. 1 lap to go. Next time by the line, de Ferran is nearly 10 seconds back. Andretti is about 1.5 seconds back from de Ferran. Here comes that whole group. Al Unser Jr., Brian Herta battled for 5th. Tracy's managed to pull away in 4th. There's Tracy. Carpentier as though still very much part of this fight. Rick DeBrule?
Just want to update the situation on Brian Herta. Apparently, he almost got in contact with Gidley. That's what caused him to go off. The reason he was so slow was just getting stuff off the tires and getting back up to speed. Nothing wrong with the car, just a problem with getting back up to speed.
Montoya through the first turn for the final time. Looking very strong.
What a brilliant drive once again for Juan Montoya. He's conquered street courses, road courses, airport circuits, ovals, all in his first year in Champ Car competition. What an amazing young man he is. Tremendous car control, some of the fastest hands and reflexes I've ever seen, which has been echoed up and down the pit lane. Very disciplined, very focused.
Montoya works the final set of turns on this race course. Just one chicane separates him from victory. De Ferran will come across the line nearly 9 seconds later as Montoya slowed slightly down. Winston Cup is next. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, and the gang standing by.
Great job today, pal. Great job. You're the man. That was a hell of a job today.
And Chip Ganassi congratulates his driver as Juan Montoya scores his 4th win of the year and extends his points lead. And it's the 3rd win in a row at Cleveland for Chip Ganassi and his team. De Ferran is 2nd, Andretti 3rd, then Tracy, Unser Jr., Herta, Carpentier, Moreno, Robbie Gordon is 9th, and Richie Hearn is 10th. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network.
And now this huge day of racing on ESPN continues from the fertile Sonoma Valley, about 40 miles north of San Francisco. That's where you'll find Sears Point Raceway. And we're ready to start the 16th race of the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup season and continue the march to the championship.
How do you spell success in NASCAR? Points. But the first three letters in Winston Cup champion are W-I-N, which Bobby Labonte has done 2 of the last 3 weeks. He learned hard lessons the hard way. For now, he's all smiles, but the numbers keep on changing. Just ask 31-year-old Jeff Burton. He had his day in the rain, but will he get his day in the sun? His first half charge has been flattened by 2 finishes outside the top 35 in the last 5 races. This week, he's reflected on the who, what, and why of this wreck here last year. The who was Dale Jarrett. This season, he's the point leader, 2-time race winner with 7 straight top 5 finishes, but oh forever on road courses. Racing is a numbers game. Jarrett may be number 88, but the big number today is 89. 89 is the margin of points between leader Dale Jarrett and second place Bobby Labonte. 89 was the first year the NASCAR Winston Cup Series came here to Sears Point. In the 10 races since, Dale Jarrett has 3 DNFs and has never finished higher than 4th. In fact, Jarrett, Labonte, and Jeff Burton have combined for 47 road course starts but no victories and no finishes higher than 4th. In the numbers game today, the goal of these 3 leaders is to be the big winner. The hope is they don't end up the big loser.
The hills of Northern California hold many fond memories for Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon. He grew up as a youngster just around the corner in the tiny village of Vallejo. Last year, he grew up as a road course racer around the twisting corners of Sears Point Raceway. His win from the pole here proved to be the turning point in his quest for a 3rd title. Following that victory, he reassumed and held the points lead all the way to the stage at the Waldorf in New York City. Once again today, the stage is set as Jeff Gordon has brought the same car he won with last year back to Sonoma for yet another start on the pole. But this year, the task is tall. 4 DNFs in the first 15 events have shuffled him all the way back to 5th in the points of 349 behind Dale Jarrett. So even a win today wouldn't get him back on top, but it would mark a turning point for his climb back in the right direction. Speaking of turning points and direction, those are just a few of the questions asked by rookie Tony Stewart before attempting to qualify for his first ever road course stock car race. Well, the answers to any advice must have been excellent because the laugh was. The 28-year-old phenom put his Pontiac on the outside front row. But realistically, few expect Stewart, with no previous road course experience, to be a serious contender here today. But this event does mark a turning point for his team. After today, they will have visited every style of track that the Winston Cup cars compete on. So as the second half of the season approaches, look for the Home Depot team to hit a few home runs.
3 of the best road racers on the Winston Cup Series hope today's visit to Sonoma provides a turning point for their seasons. Mark Martin is the last driver to win on a road course since Jeff Gordon started his current streak. Martin's 4th career road course victory came here at Sears Point 2 years ago. Among active drivers, he's tops, finishing in the top 5 64% of the time. Rusty Wallace leads all active drivers with 6 career victories on the road courses, but he hasn't tasted victory on a road course since he won here 3 years ago. Rusty hopes to turn that around today. Ricky Rudd is perhaps the best pure road racer of the bunch, known for his fancy footwork that many other drivers have tried to copy, but few have mastered. Rudd ranks 3rd among active drivers, finishing in the top 520 out of his 39 road course races. His 5 current wins rank him 2nd best, but he hasn't won on a road course since 1990, nearly a decade ago. During happy hour, Rudd served notice that he was ready to dominate this race. He was the fastest of the fast, and he hopes that that speed enables him to extend his streak of winning at least 1 race a year since 1983. Martin and Wallace were right behind Rudd on the happy hour speed charts. They've already won this year. So Wallace is looking at today's race as an opportunity to get back into the top 10 in points, while Martin hopes his Sears Point performance turns him back on the road to the championship.
And so 43 NASCAR Winston Cup drivers are set to do something today they only do twice a year at Watkins Glen, New York during August, and here at Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California. That is compete on a road course. They have a lot of challenges before them today because it's so much different, Ned, than what they do regularly on a racetrack.
It certainly is, Bob. They go uphill, they go downhill, they make right-hand turns, they make left-hand turns. And consider this, there are 12 turns on this road course. That's 24 potential times that they have to mess up going into each turn and coming out of each turn. So, Benny, they got to really be on their P's and Q's.
They really do, Ned. Not only is it tough on the drivers and the pit crews, it's also a mechanical exercise. Imagine what the engine goes to, down to 6,000 RPMs, back up to 9,000 RPMs, probably 6-7 times a lap. And the transmission, some of these guys will shift maybe 12, 15 times per lap. And the brakes, they go down to turn 11, probably 130 miles per hour, have to slow to 60, 70 miles per hour to make that corner. The entire car takes a tremendous abuse here at Sears Point Raceway.
After 15 events this year, Bobby Labonte 89 points behind the points leader, Dale Jarrett. The front row here at Sears Point start first and second and are fifth and sixth in the point standings with Terry Labonte in 10th position in the points. And as we focus in on the top 5 in the points, we notice that only 2 of them have wins on road courses. Jarrett, Labonte, and Burton don't have any, but Mark Martin has 4 wins on a road course, and Jeff Gordon has 3. Martin has 21 top 10s, and Jeff Gordon has 9 top 10s when they compete on road courses. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports in the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, welcome you live to Sears Point Raceway in California. Here's the opening grid for the race, presented by Everstart Walmart. Jeff Gordon on the pole, not a new track record, but close to it. Tony Stewart will start outside of row number 1, the same front row as at Daytona, the first race of the year. Jerry Nadeau, who started in 2nd position last year, will start in 3rd position this year. As we take a look back through the 43 cars and drivers who will be starting here, there are 9 wins on a road course in that row there with Mark Martin and Darrell Waltrip. So several of the guys who are experienced on the road courses, including Ricky Rudd, didn't qualify particularly well, but we can always expect them to move up through the traffic rather quickly on road courses.
As you look at the starting lineup, this is the essence part of the racetrack that these cars are going through. We'll be seeing the drivers swinging the cars back and forth as they go down from turn 7 all the way down to turn 11.
Of course, that's one of the places they get the car on 4th gear, one of the fastest parts of the racetrack, even though they are making right and left-hand turns through this area.
Dale Jarrett, the points leader, starting way back in the 29th position, so he has a tall assignment ahead of him. Now we get back into those who took provisionals to get into this race, including Chad Little, Kevin LePage, Steve Park and Ernie Irvin also did, as did Rich Bickle and Robert Presley, and David Green got the final provisional, and he is the 43rd starter in today's race. We're set to go for 112 laps of racing in the St. Mark Cragen 350 from Sears Point Raceway. Pace car pulls off the racetrack. Here they come through turn number 12, the final one before they hit the start-finish line. And the green flag waves. We're underway. Has made it up the hill successfully from the Pennzoil copter cam. Now we see them heading down the chute toward turn number 7. Jeff Gordon has the lead. Jerry Nadeau has taken 2nd position away from Tony Stewart. 3 wide racing here at the end of the chute. That's one of the areas where we'll see most of the passing here this weekend, and also entering turn number 11. Gordon has the lead. Jerry Nadeau, who started 2nd last year, starts 3rd this year and had the crash, of course, on the first lap last year, but has so far successfully negotiated lap 1 here in 99.
There we see Rusty Wallace trying to get on the inside of Tony Stewart. Tony realizes he's there, does not go down. Rusty Wallace looks like will take over that 3rd spot. The
rookie phenom, taking it easy here in the first few laps, has fallen from second back to fourth position. That's Joe Nemechek right behind him. Here comes the rest of the field. There's Mark Martin.
Oh, Earnhardt swung way out to the outside on turn 2. I don't see any dust up there, so I guess he made it through the corner.
On board with Bobby Labonte to Circuit City. Interstate Batteries onboard camera. There's Dale Earnhardt.
He was shown in 21st position after the first lap.
Oh, and we see the 4-car, Bobby Hamilton, looked like he smoked the tires getting turn 7. And they've got to be careful about that, Ned, because if they stop that tire too long, they'll put a flat spot on it and cause a tremendous vibration.
They certainly will. You have to be very, very careful about that. And there's not a lot of rubber on those tires. They could wear through the fabric, very quickly.
Bobby Hamilton had such a good run here last year. That's 17 laps. And now, once again, Tony Stewart drops back another position as Joe Nemechek has taken over the 4th spot.
He got passed by a car each time going into turn 11, and that's the best place to pass. He's going to try to come back on the inside of Nemechek, but that won't work at this point of the racetrack.
Joe Nemechek won the first road course race he ever entered in the early part of his racing career in 1988 at Sebring in the United Stock Car Alliance Series. So he's another guy that we'll look for to run well here this afternoon.
Had himself a good qualifying run.
And right now, Tony Stewart, we're watching Tony Stewart. He is just getting some laps in, letting these guys go. He's not trying to race with anyone. He's racing the racetrack. And at this point of the race, that's the wisest thing he can do.
It's been 12 years since he competed on a road course. That was when he was 16 years old in a go-kart. And right now, Tony Stewart has fallen from second back to 5th position. We'll take a break and be right back with more of the Save Mark Reagan 350 from Sears Point.
Well, I live out here on a little old farm. I got a pickup, 2 tractors, a mower, and a little old boat. Never start battery in every one of them. One in that old pickup's been in there over 4 years. Starts right up every morning.
EverStart. All the cold cranking power you'll ever need.
No matter if it's 100 degrees or 0 outside. Starts every time.
EverStart. The name says it all.
Everything I got come from Walmart, except my wife and the milk cow. And if they had a place, I'd put a battery on them.
Day 19, traveling the circuits of NASCAR.
Darlington, Daytona, Talladega, Charlotte. The drivers, the cars, the action, bumper to bumper, mano-a-mano at speeds of over 200 miles an hour, with us covering every heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping moment at the incredible speed of over
35 miles an hour, as fast as it goes.
What? It's a good thing they keep going around in circles.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing, that car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Get a free fender cover with case purchase of Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. See store for details.
In the battle against athlete's foot, you gotta have boom, tough actin' Tinactin. Now in a new pump spray. Nothing stops the itching, burning, and cracking like clinically proven Tinactin antifungals. They're so tough they can even prevent athlete's foot. Get boom, tough actin' Tinactin.
With Days Inn hotels in over 1,800 cities and towns, you can go as far as you want. We'll always be right down the lane. Days Inn. There you go.
ESPN's coverage of the St. Mark Reagan 350 from Sears Point being brought to you by Days Inn. With over 1,800 hotels worldwide, you don't have to think about where to stay, just where to go. Days Inn. There you go. By Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. And by EverStart Battery. All the cold cranking power your truck, car, boat, or mower will ever need. Available at Walmart. The Sonoma Valley and the nearby Napa Valley, of course, produces some of the finest wines in the entire world. Buried in some of these kegs in the rich, fertile soil, produces these incredible vineyards that we see up and down the highway as we come to and from Sears Point Raceway. As you can tell, the caution is out, and John Kernan has the report.
Butch Gilliland stopped out on the race course. I just talked to his crew. They say that Butch radioed them and told him he thinks something under the hood broke, something in the motor broken for Butch Gilliland, putting him out.
He started 40th and finished 24th here at Sears Point last year and is going to apparently be the first out this year. Just at the start-finish line, just before it, we saw the big plume of smoke. He quickly got the car stopped down by turn number 1, but has the assistance now of a tow truck. We'll be right back.
There comes a point in your life when you outgrow those cute little pickups, at which time you might want to consider something a little more adult, a truck that can run rings around compacts. Dodge Dakota, with more room and more available towing, torque, and power. Magnum Power. Dakota. It's time to put away the toys. J.D. Power & Associates has once again ranked Dodge Dakota most appealing compact pickup.
Yeah, I get overlooked. As far as days of the week go, I'm just kind of stuck in the middle. People call me Hump Day. Thanks! But thanks to Golden Corral, I've got my pride back. Right now, you can get all the sirloin steak and golden fried shrimp you can eat on the buffet for an amazing low price. But you can only get it on Wednesdays. Yeah, Wednesdays. I'm the man!
Tonight on ESPN, Baseball Tonight, followed by Sunday Night Baseball, the Dodgers at the Giants, and a complete wrap-up on SportsCenter. On ESPN2, Women's World Cup and Day 1 of the X Games, plus continuous scores and updates on ESPN2's Bottom Line. And on ESPN Classic Click and Pick, where we show you what you want to see, and the 87 U.S. Open. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
This is a sport where the work of weeks and months is measured in hundredths of a second. This is a sport where glory and fortune can all come down to a gallon of gas. This is a sport where fans buy seats they never sit in, and they couldn't be happier about it. This is a sport that truly revolves around its fans. In fact, the drivers even go door to door to get the fans to come to the track. This is NASCAR.
Back at Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California, we are under caution. Butch Gilliland's car stalling down in turn number 1. It is off the racetrack. We had to kind of leave Cleveland in a hurry to get out here to this NASCAR Winston Cup race. Let's go back to Cleveland for a recap. Here's Paul Page.
Juan Montoya tastes the fruits of victory as he has completed the run and won a rain-shortened race at the Burke Lakefront Airport. He takes both the extra point for pole and for laps led, takes the win. There's the unofficial results. Let's send you back to Bob Jenkins and Benny Parsons.
All right, thank you very much, Paul, for the update. Here at Sears Point, we have completed 5 laps with the caution out because of the Butch Gilliland car being disabled down in turn number 1. Down to Bill Weber.
One of the early problems here could belong to Ricky Rudd, who had a good qualifying run and runs well on a road course. Potential overheating problem on his Tide Ford. Temperatures well above the 220, 225 mark. They told him under caution to keep your nose clean, get as much air to it as possible. To Jerry Punch.
Jerry Nadeau's been told by his spotters that where he's getting killed is from turn 11 up through turn 1, 2, and 3. He said Gordon's getting incredible bite, able to pull away. But once the tires wear a little bit, Nadeau should come on. Where Nadeau is better is from turn 7 down through the S all the way to turn 11. He pulls up on Gordon and pulls away from Wallace. So Nadeau said, I got to use my strength coming out of turn 7 to try to hang with Jeff Gordon. Bob?
Just about to go back to green. You see them heading toward turn number 11. The lights atop the pace car are out. By the way, a 2000 Monte Carlo, which will be used in NASCAR Winston Cup competition next year, is the pace car for this event.
Taking some onboard cameras. We'll see Tom Hubert in the race. There's our circuit city, Ricky Rudd as the Tide onboard camera. That circuit city was Bobby Labonte as the cars come down for the green.
Start the pickup speed, green, 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 green.
An elevation change of 160 feet from the bottom there up to the top of the hill about right here. So you're really headed uphill with the nose of the car pointed nearly straight up when you come through turns 1 and 2. And this time Nadeau is sticking right with Jeff Gordon, but again we'll see if Gordon is able to pull away when they get down to turn number 11. They're headed right now to turn 7.
Staying with him so far. Boy, he runs in hard into there. Picked up a lot of space.
But look at Rusty Wallace, who also closes in on Nadeau. Now they head up through the S's.
They're down through the S's.
Yeah.
We're coming downhill here now.
And let me see Jeff Gordon pulling away by about a car length. Through turn 10, the right-hander. Now they'll charge down to turn 11. And we'll see if Nadeau has that same break. And look at him gain on Jeff Gordon going in the corner.
Now here's where the crew told him that Jeff was getting away.
And you can see he opens up some distance as he came off that turn. Boy, getting traction off there is very, very important.
In the 11th and 12th position.
Behind Walter is Bobby Hamilton, then Rudd. Then here comes Kyle Petty, Bobby Labonte, and Kenny Wallace. We're on board with Bobby.
Looked like he tried to think about making a pass on Kyle, but knew he was not at the right point on the racetrack to do that. Here's Mike Skinner in the car number 31. Trying to make the pass.
On Kenny Wallace. Childress cars running together on the racetrack with Skinner leading Earnhardt right now, 18th and 19th position.
And let Skinner dive to the inside, trying to outbrake Kenny Wallace. Kenny Wallace does not go down and get spun out. Normally that's what happens. The car goes down, they tap it in the rear quarter, and around he goes. So but he maintains the spot.
Yeah, Kenny got good traction off the outside and kept his position.
On board with Wally Dallenbach. Running back in the 21st spot. That's Kenny Irwin Jr. up ahead in the Hamilton car. Another very experienced road racer. Two-time Trans Am champion. He has lost a position since the drop of the green flag.
From Tom Hubert's onboard camera, the back bumper looks back at Dale Jarrett back in the 31st position. Is the Ford Quality Care Ford. And Ned, he is struggling these early laps.
Well, he's had a tough time getting through traffic so far. Now, whether he's being patient or if the car just won't do any better, don't know. I expect he's being patient right now.
Tom Hubert, one of those drivers who competes only on the road courses. He ran 41st here last year and 36th at Watkins Glen in 1998. Started 10th here last year.
And those finishes do not indicate how well he ran. He had mechanical problems in both of those.
Whoa! Little contact.
And Kyle Petty, it looks like he has taken a shortcut someplace.
But it cost him a lot too, Benny, because I think he lost several positions. Yes, he did. He lost several positions there. He's back now in 33rd position.
Big loss for Kyle Petty, who was up in the top 15, I believe. Well, here's Gordon, who continues to lead. He led 48 laps here last year en route to his victory, and he has led the first 9 laps of our race here in 1999. We'll let all the field go by and show you how much distance Dale Jarrett has between himself and the leader of the race.
It's a long way.
Boy, a long way. There he is behind John Andretti and ahead of Johnny Benson, who's celebrating his birthday today.
DJ did get by Tom Hubert. He's now moved up to 30th position, actually 29th, because Kyle Petty is ahead of him as well.
Here's Petty trying to go to the inside of Hubert, trying to regain some of the spots he lost at this portion of the racetrack last lap.
That was a paycheck sport of Brett Bodine. Tommy Hubert, I saw him back there racing with Kyle Petty. Up this hill, like you said, Bob, this is a tremendous elevation change as they climb this hill up to turn 2, 3. Oh, battle for second spot. Oh, Rusty Wallace hard on the brakes to try to avoid hitting the 9 car of Jerry Nadeau.
He tried to outbrake him going into that turn, but couldn't quite do it, but he made a gallant effort.
On NASCAR today, you heard Benny say that the 2 prime passing areas here are headed toward turn 7 and turn 11, and turn 7 is where Rusty tried to make that move on Jerry Nadeau, but was unsuccessful. Now for a taste of the race, our State Fair Corn Dog onboard telemetry will show how Rusty shifts from second to third, increases the RPMs and the miles an hour as he crosses the line and again heads up the hill.
Did about 9,000 RPMs there for a moment.
Now he'll shift back gears, third gear, probably second gear there as he accelerates. Well, maybe third gear as he accelerates across. Now, down with, once again, this was the spot last time he tried to get position on Nadeau. Will he try it again? No, he was not close enough that time to do it. Jerry Nadeau, if you wonder why he's such an accomplished road racer, he spent a lot of time in Europe running on road courses.
He was the 1996 Formula Opel European Series competitor, was 6th in the points overall that year, and also in 1991 he ran Formula Fords and was the Rookie of the Year. Jerry?
Exactly, Bob, and actually he has the highest finish ever for an American over there in the British Formula Ford Series. Brian Herta, a number of drivers, Jimmy Vasser have been over there to run that series, but no one had finished as high as this young man, Jerry Nadeau, had done. A very accomplished road racer. Everyone thought he would go open wheel racing, but his lifelong desire had been to come to stock cars. Maybe that'll pay off today with a stock car on a road course.
What happened here last year, I'm afraid, will ever haunt him, because everybody always mentions it when they talk about Jerry Nadeau, how he qualified in second position, and then just after the green flag drop, this is what happened. He goes off course here trying to get the lead, cuts across the infield, and things just go all wrong for Jerry.
He took the lead, but as you can tell, it was very, very short-lived.
So he started second last year, but finished last in 43rd position. Right now, Nadeau is in second, holding off the challenge of Rusty Wallace. But while they're battling for position, Jeff Gordon has lengthened out his lead to almost 2.5 seconds. There's the interval between second and third, and the leader, Jeff Gordon, with 12 laps completed at Sears Point Raceway.
Keep your car rocking, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Get a free fender cover with case purchase of Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. See store for details.
Have you been there? Where water and time find their canvas? Where dreams and flowers bloom? Where beyond each horizon lies another. The land offers an open, eternal invitation to roam, explore, wonder. There are amazing things here and there, which is why we try, in little ways, to protect it. Just something to think about the next time you need fuel.
Everybody's doing it. Catch the wave. It's gonna take you away. See too. 'Cause doing it is hard. With everything you've got. Doing it, see do. On the water, in the sun. Everybody's doing it good, clean fun. Everybody's doing it, see do.
This summer, if you can dream it up, Sonic can put it in a cup. We've got
big drinks. Enough choices to let your dreams run wild.
Sonic America's driving.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now for a free brochure. Your free hair, all you have to do is prepay for a basic club plan. That's it.
Can't believe you can slick it straight back and it still looks natural. I love it. I've never felt this good after a haircut.
You don't feel any difference in this hair, you know, any hair. And it still stays, see?
So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now for a free brochure.
St. Mark Cragen 350K from Sears Point, 14 laps old. 112 laps make up the distance. Jeff Gordon has the lead. This is one of the best battles on the racetrack. Jerry Nadeau holding on to second, and Rusty Wallace in the third position. Tonight at 12:30 a.m., news continues its coverage of Women's World Cup as Mexico kicks off against Italy. That's at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 out here on the West Coast. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. While we watch this continuing battle here and Jeff Gordon continued to lead, Johnny Benson has been off course in the last few minutes. Mentioned a few moments ago, this is his birthday. It's his 36th birthday, but things not going well for him in the opening laps as he is now dropped back to the tail of the field. And John Kernan has an update on Johnny Benson.
That's okay, Bob. I've been called Johnny Kernan from time to time. Johnny Benson, that could see some damage on the right front, behind the right front tire. He radioed into the crew. They asked him if he needed to pit to fix anything. He told them he thought no, that the car was all right. But he did lose a lot of time out there on the racetrack after that mishap. To Dr. Jerry Punch.
And a moment ago in commercial, Darrell Waltrip got off the course and had a vibration. Said he flat spotted the tires, then began to vibrate. So he brought the Kmart Route 66 Ford down pit road. And Felipe Lopez and the crew put 4 fresh tires, and he was down and away. Also had some minor sheet metal damage in the right rear, where there may have been some contact with what they were saying was possibly the 43 car.
So Waltrip now back in 42nd and Benson 41st. The only car out of the race so far is Butch Gilliland. Here is the battle for the 5th spot. Joe Nemechek has it. Tony Stewart wants it.
Now, Tony Stewart for the first 15, 16 laps has just been riding around, following these guys, trying to run the line, trying to figure out how to use the brakes and what have you. And it looks like right now that he said, I think I'll do a little racing. He's closing on Nemechek, trying to take that spot away.
And Mark Martin now begins to close in on the 3rd place car of Rusty Wallace. So this battle here becomes a 3-car fight for 2nd position.
Yeah, he was over a couple of seconds behind, Bob, not too long ago, and has closed that gap in a hurry.
The last lap, Mark Martin was 1 mile per hour faster than anyone else in the top 6 as he tries to get on the inside of Rusty Wallace. He's still trying to get alongside Rusty Wallace. We saw him last night in happy hour. He goes down to 1st gear there, so just imagine how he jumps off that corner. And that might have been what it took to get by Rusty Wallace.
Mark Martin looking for his 5th career win on a road course. He won here in '97 and has won 3 times at Watkins Glen in '93, '94, and '95.
I mentioned just a moment ago, Tony Stewart's been watching. See, he's going to try to get down in turn 11. Oh, he tried it, but he got off the gas so much and lost his momentum that Nemechek, in fact, came back on the outside.
And it looked like it might have caved in that left front of Tony just a little bit. We'll see if that affects the car as the laps go along.
Wow, Mark Martin is going somewhere, isn't he?
Look at him go over those rumble strips.
That's hard.
Sure is.
There's Jimmy Spencer.
And how about Jimmy Spencer?
Running at 7th right now.
Had a terrific run at Pocono last week as we show you a Napa field summary.
Bound for 2nd spot. Mark Martin's on the inside of Nadeau. Comes off the corner. Takes it over.
Look at that thing get traction off the right corner. Boy, that is what you need here, and he has it. Now, he's about a little over 4 seconds behind Jeff Gordon. Let's see if he can close that gap.
I don't think it's going to take long then for him to close down on him again.
Right behind Jimmy Spencer, who's running in 7th position, is Jeff Burton.
Well, Jeff Burton started 12th there and has climbed to 8th, but a few laps ago as he went past his crew on the pit straight here at Sears Point, he told them that the car seems to sputter a little bit in the right-handers. He thinks it may be a carburetor problem. They've told him to work with the throttle a little bit to try and clear it up, but he's having a little problem on the right-handers.
So Jeff Burton closing in on the 23 car of Jimmy Spencer. Well, Gordon has the lead, but Mark Martin now begins to close in. On lap 13, Martin was 5.9 seconds behind Jeff, and on lap 17, closed it to 4.1 and also took over the 2nd position.
Look at that. 3 of the 5 laps that Mark Martin ran were 74.7. All 3 of those laps faster than any lap that Jeff Gordon ran, and how consistent that Mark Martin is getting around this racetrack. Jerry Punch?
So many teams, BP, come here with brand new race cars. Not Mark Martin. This Valvoline Ford he's driving today is 4 years old. He finished 2nd with it back in 1996. He sat on the pole and won with it there in 97. But his most impressive performance today came here last year when he had trouble in qualifying, started in the back of the pack and had to go back in the pack 2 other times for a cut tire and a spin. They said he passed 123 cars last year here to finally finish 6th. An impressive performance, but this car very good at Sears Point Raceway.
Tony Stewart trying to put some pressure on Joe Nemechek, but Stewart is busy now with Jimmy Spencer right behind him.
What these drivers are trying to do when they go and turn 11, when they drive up right on the back bumper, dive on the inside, they're trying to get that car in front like Joe Nemechek to make a mistake. They want him to drive down the corner just a little bit too hard and slide up so they can drive by. But as good as these race car drivers are, very seldom does that happen.
Spencer got a little loose coming off of that turn. Broke the rear wheel first, but gathered it back in. Staying right there close on Tony Stewart.
When Mark Martin took over 2nd position, he was 4.1 seconds behind. Actually, Jeff Gordon is pulling away. That interval is now up to 4.3 seconds. So it's Gordon followed by Mark Martin, Jerry Nadeau, Rusty Wallace, and Joe Nemechek in the Save Mark Reagan 350 from Sears Point.
Hey, Ray, those brake pads really did the trick.
Great.
I got a couple more things I need. Do you think you have these?
Think? No problem. Hey, Jeff, can you get these for Dan?
I'm on it.
Hey, Dan, here you go. Anything else?
No, I think this'll do it.
All right, great.
Thanks, guys.
Not as fast as Charlotte. Yeah, I know. I was a little slow on that turn at aisle 3.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
The styling of the new Vulcan 1500 Drifter takes you back to another time. The engineering, make sure you don't get stuck there. Vulcan, only from Kawasaki.
This is the Firebird Trans Am. And it's very hungry. The muscle car lives. Firebird Trans Am by Pontiac.
I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts, bare, man.
If the technology in SuperGuard motor oil can protect these high-performance engines, imagine how it'll perform in your new Ford Taurus SHO. Visit our website, Citgo.com, and you could win a 1999 Ford Taurus SHO or one of 500 other valuable prizes when you play the SuperGuard Online 500 Racing Challenge. Register to win at Citgo.com.
I've been everywhere.
While these two trucks appear to be exactly the same, there is, however, one measurable difference. The brand of brake pads. Performance friction carbon metallic. The power to stop the best. Ask for them at AutoZone.
Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at Sears Point Raceway. The Pennzoil Copter Cam panning from Sears Point Raceway, and way over there to the south, about 45 miles, 38 miles, something like that, is the city of San Francisco. And that, of course, is where the X Games are happening down on Pier 30 and 32. And the action begins tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on the Deuce. We'll have coverage of the bike stunt street, skateboard vert, and women's speed climbing. That's the category in which the first gold will be handed out, the women's speed climbing. So join us at 9 o'clock Eastern Time for the X Games. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Now, there's the aerial of the pier where the games are happening. BP and I were down there on Thursday morning, and things were gearing up. And I'm sure there are thousands and thousands of people down there right now, as San Francisco has really turned out in big shape for the X Games. Well, looks like Rusty Wallace is dropping back here. He's back to 6th place.
And about to lose that. There's the car number 99 of Jeff Burton right behind him, who ran up on him pretty quickly, but settles in now on this part of the racetrack.
Meanwhile, there we see Tony Stewart on the inside of Jerry Nadeau. He'll take over that 3rd spot. So now Tony Stewart being laying back, taking it easy. Check out the road racer, Tony Stewart.
And not taking it easy any longer is Jeff Gordon. We talked during the break about how when Mark Martin got into 2nd position and was 4.1 seconds behind, Jeff decided that it was time to get going.
Ray said, look, now Mark Martin's in 2nd. He's been gaining on you. Said, Jeff said, okay, I'll go. And since then, he has been the fastest car on the racetrack.
Now here's Jeff Burton taking the position away from Rusty Wallace. So indeed, Wallace is not nearly as fast as he was a few laps ago.
And Robert Presley has taken his car behind the wall with Jasper Hinchin's car.
As has Kevin LePage. And we mentioned this is Benson's birthday. It was Kevin LePage's 37th birthday yesterday, but right now LePage and Benson are both off the track.
Well, LePage made a unscheduled pit stop, Bob, and got a lap down. He's still out on the racetrack.
Just went back out there, so he is shown in the 31st position now. One of the cars on the move, John Andretti, who just passed Sterling Marlin and put himself up there
to 18th position. And he started back in the 31st position, so he is definitely on the move.
And we have a car into the tire barriers. That's Steve Park. This is at the exit of turn number 2.
I think that's where Richard Petty hit the wall here a few years ago.
It sure is. Yep, it's a full course caution. First time this afternoon. Comes on lap number 25. Ooh, Park is way up on the tires and the barriers. John Kernan has a report.
They just talked to Steve on the radio, and they asked him if he was okay. He said, yeah, I'm all right. Then they asked him, what happened? He said, I have no idea what happened.
Well, it was incredible, is all we can say.
I tell you what, that's not going to be easy to get off there. Well, I guess they just hook to it and just jerk it off. But, folks, look here what happened. Steve Park is going to come to watch as he backs in the fence.
Overturns completely in the air, comes down on all 4.
Look like those guys at the X Games, the way they do those skates. Wow.
Oh, man.
That was
Well, we talk about the X Games. That's when racing turns into an extreme sport. We just hope that Steve is okay. They're talking with him, and he's moving around inside. He's taking the helmet off, so that is good news. But what a scary ride for Steve Park.
There he comes out. Okay, that's great. Come out of there.
He thought to put his Pennzoil hat on, that's for sure. Man, but how frustrated is he right now?
Well, he's had a tough weekend. He spun on his qualifying attempt on Friday. He didn't race here last year, of course, was still recovering from his injury suffered at Atlanta. He did run at Watkins Glen last year. That was his first start on a road course. Finished in 18th position, but right now Steve Park is out of commission as the car has gone off the track, hit the tires, overturned completely in the air, and then come down on all four, but Steve Park walks away uninjured.
Over the years, a lot of businesses have put their names on one line of trucks, the one that's overall the most powerful line of pickups on the road, the one that was first to offer quad cab versatility, and the first and only full-size pickup to receive J.D. Power & Associates' Most Appealing Award 4 years running. We understand this name faith. We're pretty fussy about what we put ours on, too. Get a club cab with air for $20,985.
Across space, against time, in the face of common sense. The X Games, the only extreme event that matters, where losers, skaters, boarders, and bladers push themselves to the limit. The X Games, tonight at 9 on ESPN2.
Extremely busy. Jeff Gordon has the work completed on his car already, but Mark Martin has a faster stop and pulls out ahead of Jeff.
Mark Martin's crew at Pocono last week were just tremendous, and they continue today with another great pit stop.
Here comes Tony Stewart, Jeff Burton, Joe Nemechek, and the others as they have taken advantage of this caution period to make pit stops. I was going to ask you guys, how many will they be making this afternoon? We've completed 26 out of 112 laps. Can they go the rest of the way with just one more?
Well, I think it'll be marginal, Bob, but it depends on how many laps we run under caution here or maybe caution laps later. They should be able. I was talking to some of them in the garage area yesterday, and they said they could go up to 42 laps. And so 42 and 42 is 84, and we got, 86 to go. So
Petty still in the pits, and Brett Bodine is likewise. He, however, has the hood up on the Paychex 4, John Kernan.
And the hood is up. They're putting the air cleaner back on. Apparently, there was a problem with the throttle linkage and with the carburetor as Brett had to rev the engine. Apparently, it was sticking just a little bit on the throttle, so now they're putting that back together. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And Kyle Petty is on pit road for an extended stay. He spun early in this race in turn 11, and he told his crew right after that, get ready because the toe's been knocked out of whack. And he said he would wait to the first caution to get it fixed. This is the caution that first caution period since that time. As you can see, they're working on the toe, trying to pull some of the sheet metal away from the front tires. And Kyle Petty sits here waiting for the field to come by. He does not want to lose a lap. To Dr. Punch.
Uneventful pit stops for Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin. Both cars, 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel. Mark Martin about 0.3 of a second quicker than Gordon, but he was further down pit road. He pulled right out in front of Jeff Gordon, thus being able to get back onto the track first. Rusty Wallace was fading just prior to the caution coming out. His car was loose. They made some major adjustments, air pressure in the front, a track bar adjustment, a wedge adjustment, trying to get the car tighter on the right-hand turns. Back to Bill Weber.
Okay, other guys that pitted down here, outstanding pit stop for Bobby Labonte. They did make an air pressure adjustment. Other than that, no major changes. Jeff Burton said his car has been tight. He's been spinning the rear wheels. They went to go ahead and try and correct that problem. They also wanted to take tape off the front of the 99 and tape off the front of the 18. The 99 was concerned about what his temperatures were going to be in traffic. The 99, they just wanted to pull them to help keep the temperatures down. Also, ice and water fluids for all the drivers here. To John.
Dale Jarrett was in. He told the crew before making that pit stop the car just doesn't want to seem to turn. So they made a track bar adjustment. They also made an air pressure adjustment to the right rear to try and help make that car turn a little bit better for DJ.
Let's take a look at our Coke pit summary showing you where everybody was when they came in and where they are now. Jeff Gordon lost a position. Mark Martin gained one. Tony Stewart stayed the same. Jeff Burton gained 2 spots, and Joe Nemechek remained in 5th position. And now the second page, Nadeau losing 2, Wallace staying the same.
And Rusty Wallace is without his right rear tire changer. His rear tire changer, Mark Armstrong, Hollywood, went back home last night and is a proud papa today.
And congratulations to Mark. And here's why we're under our first full course caution of the day, and on lap number 25, Steve Park into the tires, up and over completely in the air, landing on all 4. Steve Park walked away from the incident. And the track is being cleared, and they've done a pretty good job getting that car off the location that it ended up in.
I wondered how this is going to get out, Bob. It's simple. Put a cable on it and pull.
That's right. And disregard what it's on. And here's how they did it. Just simply hook it onto the front end, and boom, there it went. It was not in good shape anyway, and so there was no regard to keeping the car healthy. Back with more in just a moment.
It is more than sport. It is spirit. Ritual. Family. The Coca-Cola Racing family. Refreshed by Coke.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing, that car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Get a free fender cover with case purchase of Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. See store for details.
Guys, I'm coming in.
What is it, Mike? Is it too loose?
No, it's my kitchen. I want to remodel, but I don't know where to start.
What? Hey, you're the kitchen guy. Get in here. Okay, here's what you do.
When it comes to home improvement, there's no better team to work with than Team Lowe's. Lowe's, proud sponsor of Winston Cup Team number 31 and its World Championship pit crew.
Hey, Larry, let me talk to that kitchen guy again.
It's for you. $10 for lunch? I heard of a guy got a brand new car for that.
Sounds like a Darrell Waltrip story.
Oh, I swear it's true. This guy was at the track and sees this notice. It says brand new hot rod, $10.
No, it's not a misprint. Stop by and see for yourself.
Turns out her husband met this little gal at the track, and he ran off to Tahiti with her. And he told his wife to sell the car and send him the money.
No.
Now at Kmart.
NASCAR driver Ernie Irvan knows the importance of expert technicians using top-quality parts.
When we're racing, our equipment has to be in perfect condition.
To make certain your vehicle is serviced by expert technicians using top-quality parts, go to your Federated Car Care Center.
I trust the Federated Pros with my family car as much as I trust my race mechanics. Right, Jordan?
Right, they're the best.
For service and parts you can trust, see your local Federated Car Care Center.
Back at Sears Point Raceway, Sonoma, California, for the 16th race of the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup season, the St. Mark Cragen 350. About to complete 29 laps. We are under caution. However, we do believe they'll be going back to green next time around. Jerry Punch.
And Major League Baseball managers put out a starting lineup. Now, if you were to look at a starting lineup for today's Rusty Wallace Miller Lite team, it's going to be rearranged quite a bit. Bob Tracy, normal gas man, are injured at Dover, still on the mend. Doug Ingold, gas in the car. Hollywood, they call him. Mark Armstrong, normal right rear tire changer, rushed to the airport last night by the California Highway Patrol. He got home to Gastonia, and 38 minutes ago from right now, he and wife Lori, as you heard Benny say, had a little boy, 6 pounds, 10 ounces, Mark Armstrong. Now, who's changing the rear tires? Ben Leslie, the normal front tire carrier, and that means Robin Pemberton, the crew chief and former tire carrier, goes back into action today. 3 swaps here in the Miller Lite Rusty Wallace pits. Let's check in with Bill.
Well, on Ricky Rudd's Tide team, they had to make one change because they lost one crew member to a knee injury. So Ron Liddell, who changes tires on the 3 truck in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, was flown here after the truck race yesterday at Watkins Glen by the 10 team so he could change the rear tires today. He's an assistant engine man on that 3 truck team, but they knew he was good. They needed to get him here. They worked out a deal with Richard Childress, and they flew him in just so they would have what they called a good tire changer because they lost a guy to injury for this race here at Sears Point. John Kernan.
Brett Bodine was having a problem with the throttle. It wasn't so much sticking in that it was just very, very hard to push, and it felt like it was kind of sticking up every now and then. Just wasn't feeling very smooth. They sprayed some lubricant on it. They also adjusted the Heim joint. Jerry Kennan says that the problem has been solved. Robert Presley still behind the wall, replacing the transmission.
And we're going green here at Sears Point to resume the race. Pace car off the track, pulling into an area called Gilligan's Island, which also houses some of the...
You ready? Ready? Ready, go, 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 go. Green, 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 green.
Mark Martin led 32 laps at Pocono. He takes the lead here, and for every lap he leads in 1999, Valvoline donates $20 to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. They're hoping to make $1 million this year. So far, they've raised $123,104. They also donate for a win and for a pole. Now we're going to see whether or not Jeff Gordon is as good now as he was earlier when he was able to pull away from Mark Martin.
Looked like he tried to take the lead up in turn 2. Didn't quite work. We'll see what can happen in turn 7. No.
I think he'll ride there a little bit and sort of size Mark up and see where he's best.
Oh, someone spun. Is that Earnhardt that spun up in turn 7?
Yes, it was. He was running in 11th position, loses several spots as just about everybody goes by. Earnhardt finally gets the car righted, and away he goes.
Got a little bit of damage to the right rear quarter panel or the bumper back there, whether he got tapped to cause the spin or if it was something that happened as a result of the spin. Let's see if we can see what happened.
He goes in the corner, and I guess right there he got tapped by Schrader, looks like. And around he goes. Bill Elliott gets in the dirt over there.
Yeah. So that's going to put him way back in 39th position. Last car on the lead lap. Kevin LePage, the only car not on the lead lap of those still on the racetrack. Park, of course, is out. So is Gilliland. And as we indicated just a few moments ago, Robert Presley is off the track. Here's a Napa field summary. The manufacturers battle. With Ford showing the way at the moment. And Ford showing the way on the racetrack. Once again, they come down the chute, headed for turn number 7. Here's the point standings. And the 9 car of Nadeau off the pace.
Yes, he sure is. And down through the gravel he goes.
Off the track. Let's see if he can get through that sand without getting stuck. As long as he keeps it moving, he'll be okay. Got back on the course.
Where you can, buddy. You got a line of them.
It was his radio. Spotter.
Not so sure the car is going to make it back to the...
So is Jerry.
Yeah, I guess it is. All right, here's Gordon taking the lead from Mark in turn 11 on lap 31. Jerry, what's wrong with Jerry Nadeau?
Well, it's apparently stuck in gear. He tried to shift it. It wouldn't come out of gear, and it's hung. And he just basically backed the rear end up and began to wheel off, and that's why he went off. He's going to try to make his way back around the pit road. But apparently it is hung in gear. He has not as yet told the crew which gear it is in.
But he continues on the racetrack, so maybe it did come out as he goes down to turn 11.
Meanwhile, Gordon begins to pull away a little bit, so our question was answered. Was he as good before, after the caution and after the tire change as he was before? Looks like he is.
Yep. Good racing going on back here. Wally Dallenbach looks back on Ted Musgrave.
Yeah, several cars have passed Wally here in this last lap, Bob. I don't know if he's having a problem or what it is, but he is definitely dropping back. He's back in 21st position now.
Ted Musgrave tries to take a spot away. The Remington Arms Ford Taurus. And I saw a puff of smoke from Wally Dallenbach's car. It's like an engine problem, maybe.
And more go around. There's Elliott Sadler moving around. Chad Little. Wally's best finish in NASCAR Winston Cup competition came on a road course. Second place at Watkins Glen in 95. John has the report on what's wrong with Dallenbach.
Wally just radioed in and told the crew that there's something wrong with the brakes and also with the steering arm of the car, as he has decided to pull it down onto pit road. And earlier they had a problem with the brakes overheating just a little bit. But Wally will pull it into pit road, and the crew, led by Tony Furr, will go check it out. The brakes are dragging on it. They'll go underneath the hood. Let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Jerry Nadeau's car is hung in third gear. He tried to go up to fourth gear, and the car wouldn't come out of third. He was trying to shift it. That's when he got the wheel up and got off the course. He is obviously not able to run the full power just in third gear, but the crew's opted to lead him on the racetrack and hope for a yellow flag so they can get back in, because it's going to take a while for him to lose a lap. They're going to hope and pray to get a caution, a full course caution, I should say, be able to come in and fix the transmission for the 9 car.
Here's 10th, 11th, and 12th. Kenny Irwin, Sterling Marlin, and Bobby Hamilton on board with Bobby Hamilton, the Briggs & Stratton onboard camera. If you consider only road course points scored in 1998, Bobby Hamilton came out in 5th. He finished 2nd here and finished 13th at Watkins Glen.
Bobby Labonte spun out down there. Yes, he did. He spun out in turn 11. Gets it going again. A lot of cars passed him.
Labonte loses a lot of track position with a spin down in turn number 11. Has the car going again, though, climbing up the hill.
He's back in 21st position, across the line in 21st position. Everyone knows turn 11 is a favorite place to pass. Everyone tries it there, and there's a lot of contact in 11.
Here's from his onboard camera what happened.
Like he went in there slow enough, okay. And then you wonder maybe if he got tapped there.
Didn't look like there was anybody behind him. Maybe just when he got on the gas, it came around on him. Yeah. And speaking of scoring points, when you consider points scored only in the last 6 races, Bobby Labonte has scored the most. He has outpointed Dale Jarrett, who's the current overall points leader, by 20 in the last 6 races. We'll be back with more live coverage in a moment of the St. Mark Cragen 350.
Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you!
To keep your car rocking, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Get a free fender cover with case purchase of Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. See store for details.
With an exciting message for NASCAR fans. Buy any Exide NASCAR Select product and get a Motorola pager free. It's a great way to enter the Exide NASCAR Select 99 sweepstakes. Every month you'll be paged with another chance to win cool prizes. You could even win $50,000 and be an honorary member of the Exide Racing Team pit crew for the first race of the next century. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Oh, wait, man, I gotta find a phone.
I love lobster. Boiled lobster, broiled lobster, jumbo lobster, baked stuffed lobster, steamed lobster, lobster Newburgh, lobster tail,
There he goes again.
lobster roll, sauteed lobster. Did I mention lobster stew? Boiled
The Cook's Lobster House off the coast of Maine. They'll give you lobster just about any way you want it. But bring your Visa card, because you won't get a bite using American Express.
Sir, any suggestions?
There's boiled lobster.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
You know, Kenny and I never compare statistics.
Or Super Bowls.
That way we can drink our Miller Lights without arguing. Right, Mr. Fewer career touchdown passes than me?
Right, Mr. Never Been to the Big One.
We only talk about why Miller Lite tastes great.
It's the choice hops.
No, Snake. Miller Lite tastes great because it's smooth. But let's not fight.
Yeah, you're right. Let's be friends.
Table ready for Mr. I don't have as many passing yards as Dan Fouts?
Hey, That's you.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
Jeff Gordon has a 1.1 second lead on Mark Martin at the Save Mark Cragen 350. The Pennzoil Copter Cam having these overhead shots as the leaders work their way through turn number 6, down through the chute, headed for turn 7.
And the pace has picked up. These cars are running 1 mile per hour faster than they ran that first segment before the pit stop. So obviously, all crews made some slight adjustments to the cars, made them just a little bit better.
Down to John Kernan.
Wally Dallenbach has taken his car into the garage area where the crew is going to work on it to try and solve the brake problem. Wally said it almost felt as if the brake pads had kind of melted or welded themselves onto the rotors. So what Tony Stewart is planning on doing is taking the rotors off and replacing the rotor caliper assemblies and then get Wally back out on the racetrack. But right now they're all pretty upset because they thought they had a good shot at a good run for today's race.
So he and Robert Presley, the only 2 cars off the racetrack. Jeff Burton has taken 3rd position from Tony Stewart, and while we were away a few minutes ago, Rusty Wallace took 5th away from Joe Nemechek. Jeff Burton has come up from 12th starting position
to 3rd, having a great run here today. He's Burton at 2.7 seconds behind. Let's take a look at what happened to Bobby Labonte. We speculated that maybe he got a little tap or a look from Ricky Rudd's in-car camera. There's Jimmy Spencer right in front of him, dips down on the inside of Bobby Labonte, and right there was a little bit of contact made, and it sent Bobby spinning around down on the asphalt.
Looked like Jimmy Spencer hit a bump or something. All of a sudden, his car just washed out right in the side of the Interstate Batteries Pontiac.
And it's put Labonte back to 21st spot. Steve Park is back in the garage area talking to Steve Meal down to the area where this is happening.
And we'll walk in here and see if we can get Steve. He's talking it over with Paul Andrews and company. It's good to see you. Wild ride. What happened?
Well, first of all, I'd like to tell my mom I know she's home right now watching that I'm okay. Just a little sore. And if you look down in here, it looks like the tire come off the wheel. We've never seen anything like this before. And you know, here at Sonoma with the road course and everything else, the front wheels get real hot because of the brakes and stuff like that. And we're not really sure. Like I said, I don't think it was a flat tire as much as we might have just rolled it up off the wheels. So whatever it was, it's just it's unfortunate. The Pennzoil car was running good in the beginning, and we're just riding around buying our time trying to avoid something like this. And just disappointing. It has been a good weekend for me here. So it's my first time here. I'd have to say I'd be looking forward to coming back, but right now, I don't know. We're just going to have to go home and try to make these things better.
You think this happened before you got airborne, Steve?
Yeah, it definitely did. I just radioed in a lap beforehand that the car started to get real loose for no reason whatsoever, and going down a straightaway past the pits, you know, the car just didn't feel right. And going down into turn 1, it just dropped down on the right front and headed straight off the racetrack. And I mean, I was just along for the ride. The only thing I could do was just lock the brakes down and hope for the best. And the good Lord was with me today because we were able to walk out, and just shows that these guys back in the shop are building some safe race cars.
Glad to see you, and so's your mom.
Thanks.
Well, you can say that again. That was a very, very scary ride. We're watching 18th on back. Dale Jarrett running 18th. That's Skinner behind him, Ward Burton, and Bobby Labonte.
Actually, Jarrett just took over the 17th position from the 31 car of Mike Skinner. They've really been doing some dicing around in this group of cars. There's Bobby Labonte looking on the outside of Ward Burton in the car number 22, but couldn't do anything in that turn.
Guys are running back about 21 seconds behind the leader of the race, and now we see Rusty Wallace has taken 4th away from Tony Stewart.
That's about 6.5 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Gordon. And Mark Martin is starting to put a little heat on Jeff Gordon. Last lap, Mark Martin was a little quicker than Jeff Gordon. Not much, but a little bit.
Interval between 1st and 2nd is just a little more than 1 second, 1.25 seconds to be exact. There is how much that translates to on the racetrack. And not too far behind is the 3rd place car of Jeff Burton. There is Rusty, and he's pursued hotly by Tony Stewart.
Yeah, Rusty got around Tony, but he hasn't gotten away from him. There's Joe Nemechek behind them. He's hanging right in there too.
Lowe's field summary shows you the point standings. Rusty at the moment is up to 9th position, up 2 positions. And we have a car smoking badly through the S's as we see everybody else coming across the start-finish line. The 19 car of Hubert is smoking badly. There is Bobby Hamilton as he runs 10th behind Kenny Irwin.
And that's a good run for Kenny Irwin. If he can just stay in there and work his way forward a couple more spots, that will be a terrific run for the Texaco Havoline Ford Taurus.
There is the 19 car of Hubert that we talked about a few moments ago, smoking badly as it went through the S's in front of us, and he's made it toward the pit area, and they go to work on it, John Kernan.
And Tom Hubert has shut off the engine. They have an oil leak. In fact, just before he pulled it into the pits, one of the cars behind him said, radioed their crew and said, he's putting oil down, he's putting oil down, he's putting oil down. The 19 car's putting oil down. And yes, they opened the hood, and there is an oil leak. So now they're going to get a new line to put it on the car, and then they're going to put oil into the car, and they think that the engine is all right. He had 60 pounds of oil pressure whenever on the gauge whenever he pulled it into the pits.
Here's the 19 car onboard camera, the Bradford White water heaters onboard camera. Watch Earnhardt's car as he goes down the corner. And we see something hanging from the right rear of Earnhardt's car. I'm not sure exactly what that is.
I think I saw that, Benny, just after he spun up there.
But he knocked it off.
And it went under. It could have gone under Tom Hubert's car and possibly cut an oil line or something.
So that had been hanging on there flapping for a long time and finally came off.
Well, that could very definitely explain the problem experienced by Hubert as they continue to work on his car. Just about the same interval, 1 1/4 seconds between the leader, Jeff Gordon, and Mark Martin. Jeff Burton is third, followed by Rusty Wallace and Tony Stewart. We'll be right back.
Gordon is way behind. Stick a fork in Jeff. He's done. Oh, my. What is he thinking? Holy Baloo. What the heck is that? Ooh, that's got to hurt. Well, what could possess a man to drive like that? Gotcha. He's making his move backward. Gordon wins. We got to get him a cup holder.
With the blade setting early, those first ice boats had a lot of speed, but not a whole lot of control. Oh, geez. Learn the hard way. Wider is better.
With its speed-sensitive steering technology, the White Track Grand Prix gives you precise cornering and control.
Better, better.
Wider is better. The White Track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Now you can lease the Grand Prix GT sedan for just $269 a month. See your Pontiac dealer today.
Whenever you see racetracks around the world, you usually see Mobil 1 signs. So many people think that Mobil 1 synthetic is only for high-performance cars. Well, let me dispel that myth for you right now. Mobil 1 can improve the performance of almost any car while protecting the engine even under the most severe conditions. So, for the same reason the race guys use Mobil 1, so should you.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Back at Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California, 43 of 112 laps completed in the Save Mark Cragen 350. A lot of activity in the Bay Area this weekend here at Sears Point, and just south of here, everybody's talking about the X Games. Down the Sonoma River and across the Golden Gate Bridge into the city by the bay, San Francisco. You'll find Piers 30 and 32, and that's where the X Games are happening, the extreme sports Olympics that everyone is talking about, including Jeff Gordon. The reigning NASCAR Winston Cup champ visited the X Games earlier this week, and he got to meet the Jeff Gordon of skateboard vert, Tony Hawk, one of his heroes. Jeff and wife Brooke moved to the top of the vert ramp to take a look. No doubt about it, Gordon is a big X Games fan.
I grew up around this area and kind of grew up as a skateboarder and bike rider and all that stuff and loved the X Games. And, man, when I knew that they were going to be this close, I said, hey, we're there. We have got to go by and check this out. And I want to meet Tony Hawk, and I got to do that. So big thrill for me already this weekend. The half pipe, man. The half pipe is what it's all about. You know, I think I just messing around with skateboards enough to know how difficult it is to do what these guys do, and how much talent and practice that it takes. And you know, I mean, I envy them in a way, and jealous in other ways. You know, I tell you, it's really awesome to see them do what they do. The X Games are awesome. I mean, these are kids and people that are doing things that normal human beings don't want to do, and I can relate that to auto racing a little bit, but you know, it's just great that ESPN and everybody is getting behind this, and I love to see it happening because I'm a huge fan of it.
Our coverage of the X Games begins tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern with bike stud street, skateboard vert, and the women's speed climbing. Jeff was still talking about his visit to the X Games and getting to meet Tony Hawk when he returned back north to the Sonoma Valley and Sears Point Raceway.
Awesome, man. I tell you, I have so much appreciation for those guys. I got to watch the guys, skateboarders on the half pipe. I got to meet Tony Hawk, and you know, if I could do something else, you know, everybody's always asking me if you could do anything else. I wish I could do that. I just don't have the talent to do that, and I'm getting over the hill for those guys.
Yeah, he's over the hill, okay, at what, 27? There's the Golden Gate Bridge, which connects our area here in the Napa and Sonoma Valleys to the city of San Francisco. Right now, Jeff Gordon is the leader of the race. He's got the slower car, Jerry Nadeau, between himself and second place, Mark Martin.
So Nadeau did not get that caution that he needed. Still out there running around in third gear, has gone a lap down. There's still 35 cars on the lead lap. David Green just went a lap down a few laps ago.
And Martin is closing the gap.
Yes, he is. He was just 9/10 of a second the last time around. And it looks like he's closed it to even less than that. Could have been the way he caught Nadeau in traffic where he caught him.
Let's get an update on the Tom Hubert situation from John Kernan.
Bob, I talked to the crew, and they told me what they think might have happened is Tom ran over something out on the racetrack and might have come up and knocked the fitting loose on the oil line. It did not actually cut an oil line, but it might have knocked the fitting loose. So they came in, tightened it up, put oil in the car. It is all right. And Jerry Nadeau, after losing that lap, being lapped out on the track, now heads down pit road.
So it could have indeed been that little piece of metal that was on the back of Dale Earnhardt's car that came off there in turn number 11 that resulted in that oil line being knocked off. Here comes the battle for fourth. Tony Stewart and Rusty Wallace.
They've done quite a bit of battling on the racetrack today.
Did Stewart just get that spot back from Rusty? I was thinking Rusty was in front of Tony Stewart. What a great job this Tony Stewart. We keep saying, well, here's where Tony Stewart will have a problem. We said that at Bristol. We said that at Martinsville. All the racetracks. Then we got to Sears Point. We knew he'd have problems here. I mean, after all, what'd you say? He hasn't been on a road course since in 12 years?
Yeah, since he was 16.
He'll never figure this deal out.
Wrong.
Every race this year, he has finished in the top 20, except two. He was 36th at Las Vegas and 28th at Daytona. But other than that, his worst finish was at Martinsville. Jerry has an update on Nadeau.
We got it out.
Well, he just came down pit road. Newt Moore just came running across. Well, Newt, did you get it out of gear? Stuck out of third?
We got it fixed. It had something jammed up in between the shifter. We filled it up with gas. We ought to be able to go one more stop. He should be okay here if we can just keep going one lap down. Leaders will have to pit and get gas. We won't. We should make our lap up and get a caution. Maybe we can get the thing back up to where it needs to be.
Oh, there's still some hope for the Jerry Nadeau team.
There you go, guys. Don't ever, ever give up.
But they wish now that they would have come in when it first happened. They might have, as quickly as they did it, then maybe they could have stayed on the lead lap.
Back in 16th and 17th position, a couple of the top point contenders in the series this year. Dale Jarrett and Bobby Labonte are running together. Jarrett has 16th and Labonte 17th.
Now, Labonte started up in 14th spot, but we saw him spin when he had that contact with Jimmy Spencer down in turn 11, so he fell back several positions. DJ started back in, where they had about 29, so he's gained himself 13 spots. Oh, and he gets off the course, and Bobby Labonte goes by, and DJ pulls back on.
That could have been very, very costly. It was bad enough as it was, but he only lost one position and some distance out on the racetrack. Terry Labonte running right behind him. Terry is running in 18th position.
There's Bill Elliott and Kenny Wallace running together just ahead of the 18 car now in 14th and 15th spot. These guys, it seems like, have been battling all race long.
They have had a good battle out there, and Bobby Labonte has been gaining on them, and now you can see he's getting very close to them.
Labonte closing in on Bill Elliott. Take a look again at what happened to Dale Jarrett from the copter cam.
Goes down in the corner, and it looks like he just got the corner a little bit faster than he could make the corner, and goes out in the dirt and gravel, and he's lucky he's able to keep control and not get out and get stuck.
Yeah, that sand is pretty deep out there, and if you get the car slowed down too much in there, she'll just dig right on down into the sand. Then you got to wait for the wrecker to come.
And fortunately, most of that stuff is sand rather than gravel, because if it were gravel, and if there isn't any sharp rocks in there, certainly that would be able to cut one of these tires.
Labonte is now caught right up to both of these guys, both Elliott and Kenny Wallace. Another Lowe's Field summary for you. Again, Elliott tries to get the position from Kenny Wallace, and he may do it this time as Wallace relinquishes it.
Yeah, Elliott went way down at the bottom of that turn, and Bobby Labonte's going to go by as well. Got good traction off that turn. Has good horsepower under the hood and was able to put it to use.
Kenny Wallace started 22nd and finished 22nd here last year. At the moment, runs in the 16th spot. There's Jeff Gordon with a 1.2 second advantage over Mark Martin. In quite a bit of racetrack back to the third place car of Jeff Burton.
Yeah, he's back 7 1/4 seconds behind.
Running all alone.
There's Tony Stewart. There's Rusty, Joe Nemechek, and Ricky Rudd, who faded for a while, but now is charging back toward the front.
Started in 15th position, and we can see trying to get by Rusty Wallace. He's out on the inside. Looks like he'll take that 5th spot away. 6th spot away, I'm sorry, because Nemechek has been able to get by Rusty Wallace as well. Rusty, same thing happened before. He runs about 15, 20 laps and starts fading.
Yeah, if he gets the tires heated up, his chassis just doesn't seem to work as well as it does when the tires are cooler and newer.
Rudd crashed, you'll recall, with Jeffrey Bodine last year on lap 89 in turn number 11. Rudd was running second at the time and ended up in 28th position. And the 12th car of Jeremy. Oh, and Jeff Gordon is off the course. Now, there's something you don't see very often.
That's up in turn 7 where we saw Dale Jarrett just a moment ago. He's back on the track, but how much damage has it done to the car?
Definitely lost the lead.
Well, that puts...
Jeff Burton's right there with him.
So we know he lost at least 7 seconds because Jeff Burton was 7 seconds behind him just a moment ago when we talked about it.
So for the second time this afternoon, Mark Martin has the lead of this race, and now Burton will go to the inside at the end of this straightaway heading toward turn number 11 and take seconds from Jeff.
Gordon has to take it easy here for a lap just to see if there was a lot of damage done to the car. Didn't cut a tire. He wants to get into these corners pretty easy and get a feel of the car once again, get his rhythm going again if everything is okay.
Jeff is the hometown hero. He was born just a few miles up the road from Sears Point in Vallejo, California, moving to Indiana early on and growing up there. He calls Pittsboro, Indiana his home, but really he was born in Vallejo, California.
See a little damage to the front bumper of his car. Very slight, though. Now, here's where he had this problem the last time. As we see Jimmy Spencer in the pits changing right side tires.
Jerry is right there.
Guys, a vibration for Jimmy Spencer to decide to come in and go ahead and change tires rather than taking a chance on having a tire going down. He has some damage in the left front nose. That's where that contact came down in turn 11 laps ago with Bobby Labonte. 4 tires, and Spencer is down and away.
At his best finish of the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup season last weekend at Pocono, coming home in 14th. Here's what happened to Jeff Gordon.
Okay. Comes in, looks like he makes a normal entrance into the turn, but I guess it maybe was a little bit hotter than it looked. And
just like DJ a while ago.
As a matter of fact, Mark Martin behind him smoked the right front tire. He was in hard enough, he smoked the right front tire. But look at him go through that plowed field back there.
Yeah.
But he knows that he can't stand to get stuck. So that's why he was going there so rapidly. Jerry Punch.
Ordinarily, a driver would try to explain to his crew chief what happened, but Jeff Gordon has laryngitis and he can't talk. All he can do is squeak on the radio. All he said was, "Ray, I'm off. I'm off." Ray said, "Don't worry about it. We'll relax. We got plenty of laps, plenty of time. We'll catch him." Get back online. A long afternoon yet to come. Our coverage continues from Sears Point Raceway after this. Stay with us.
Available at GEX in Hampton and Newport News.
Plastic bag, plastic bag, plastic bag, plastic bag, plastic bag, plastic bag, I got a plastic bag, plastic bag. You have some stuff in your green plastic bag and you're going to carry it to the other side of the street. Dressed in purple, walking down the street. I'm dressed in purple, gosh, it's really neat.
Tom Green Show, brought to you exclusively by Zap.
On SportsCenter does take its toll.
For Kenny Mayne, I'm Dan Patrick. Good night.
Clear. Once we finish a show, we do it all over again for the overseas markets.
Buenas noches, amigos. Me llamo Kenny Mayne.
Same highlights, same anchors, different dialects.
Dos Vidania. Menu Zabut, Boris Patrick. Vut, Kenny Mainsky.
To touch people all over the world, that's special.
ESPN's live coverage of the St. Mark Reagan 350 from Sears Point Raceway, being brought to you by Mobil 1 Synthetic Motor Oil. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. By State Fair, the corn dog of NASCAR, proud sponsor of car number 30. And by the Wide Track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Wider is better. When you come to the San Francisco area, there's all kinds of things to do. You can go surfing, you can take a hot air balloon ride over this beautiful valley, or you can just go biking and relaxing. This is a beautiful area of the country, and we're always glad to come here to Sears Point. And you can keep track of whatever is going on in NASCAR on their official website, www.nascar.com, NASCAR Online. All right, 54 laps completed. We are less than 2 away from the halfway point. 56 laps will be the halfway marker, and Mark Martin continues to hang on to the lead after Jeff Gordon got off course. Mark is about 7 3/4 seconds ahead of Jeff Burton, and Ricky Rudd takes another position. He's up to 5th now, passing Joe Nemechek.
And Nemechek tried to come back because Rudd got in the corner just a little bit too hard. But you can see he was not successful as we look at the back bumper of Ricky Rudd's car.
Comes the tide floor through turn number 10. Headed down the straightaway. Hard braking right here. That's the entrance to the pits there on the right. And Gordon is caught back up now to Jeff Burton. As you indicated, Ned, he took it easy for a couple of laps, just checking out the car to see if everything was okay, and now he mounts the charge once again.
Pulled right back up on him, and meanwhile, while they're having that battle, Bobby Labonte's had some problems somewhere. He's dropped back several positions. He came by here, looked like he was running okay, but he went from a 14th position back to 16th again.
We understand he did get off course once again, so Bobby Labonte is having his problems as he tries to hang on to 2nd position in the point standings. Jeff Burton has moved up 10 positions. John Andretti really is the one who has gained the most since the drop of the green flag. He has picked up 22 positions. And Jerry Nadeau's having transmission problems, got off course again.
And you look at Tony Stewart. He has caught Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton.
And he's done it rapidly, Benny. Just a couple of laps ago, he was about 2.5, 3 seconds behind him. But now he has caught them.
6 top 10 finishes in the last 7 races for Tony Stewart. Somebody questioned whether he is from Columbus, Indiana or Rushville, Indiana. They call him the Rushville Rocket. There's a very easy explanation, sort of like Jeff Gordon's situation. He was born in Rushville, Indiana, and grew up in Columbus. And when he comes back to Indiana, he lives in the house in which he grew up. He has bought it and remodeled it, putting extensive amounts of money into it, but really has a nice place in Columbus, Indiana. So that's the explanation of that.
Okay.
Bobby Hamilton has passed Rusty Wallace and has gone to 7th.
Rusty just continues to go back. As Benny said, the longer he runs on his tires, the worse his car seems to get.
This is on board with Bobby Hamilton as he looks back at Rusty Wallace, the Briggs and Stratton onboard camera. There's Rusty Wallace closing right up on the back bumper. Now they'll start down the S's.
And Wally Dallenbach off course. He just came back out onto the racetrack and takes an off-course excursion in the Bud Chevy. Michael Waltrip putting heat on the 3-car of Dale Earnhardt for the 21st position.
Remember, Earnhardt got tapped and spun up in turn 7, and the whole field went by. Well, Earnhardt's worked his way back up to 22nd, so he's passed about 10, 12 cars since we saw that incident.
There's Elliott Sadler moving to the inside of Chad Little.
Time to take over 23rd.
Terry Labonte makes a pit stop.
Terry was running in the 17th position.
Down to John Kernan.
It's a 4-tire change for Terry Labonte plus a major chassis adjustment in the left rear of the car. The pit stop was routine. He's off and away. They remind him 3,400 RPM so he doesn't break the speed limit leaving. Once again, 4 tires, major major chassis change with wedge on the left rear.
And overall caution has come out on the racetrack.
And let's see if Terry Labonte, he did not get back to the start-finish line before Mark Martin came across it. That could have been a major situation for Terry Labonte. It's a debris caution. You see it on the racetrack. But Terry Labonte could have been the leader of this race right after this because everybody else will come into the pits.
And the debris, it appears, is in turn number 11. That's going to bring our second overall caution onto the racetrack with Mark Martin leading.
There's a lot of reasons why so many people who take care of their cars turn to AutoZone each week. The low prices on the replacement parts they really need, and the large selection of the things they simply want. But most of all, they come to AutoZone because of the helpful, friendly people who work there. The kind of folks who know their stuff and who'll go the extra mile to help you out. Because after all, taking pride in taking care of people is what AutoZone is all about.
You know, when things settle down around here around 11, 11:15, that's when I wish I could ask my bank about a home equity loan and get an instant answer. Maybe plan the twins' college fund, see if I can find a better deal on my car insurance. Well, of course, I couldn't do all that at the old bank. So, I got a new one.
If your bank could start over, this is what it would be. Wingspanbank.com.
Crew set. Everybody's ready. Let's go.
Here it comes. Let's hit it.
Rock your way to the fastest finish.
You're good. You're fast. After lunch, we'll do the other side of the street.
Make sure you've got genuine sheetrock. USG Sheetrock brand products. Official marketing partner of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Hey! He's in the garage.
Hey!
If you're going to have a garage, have a garage.
And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Penn's oil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do? Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Stop. Go. Penn's oil.
Sleek, sophisticated, stylish, and yet with an exhilarating V6. Chevy Monte Carlo lets you express that hidden part of your personality, just dying to get out.
Mr. Freeman.
How are you?
Tommy?
Monte Carlo. The side you show the world is up to you.
Get low APR financing or $2,000 cash back on a new 99 Monte Carlo.
Back at Sears Point, we have a overall caution and pit stops being made. Kyle Petty is pushing Michael Waltrip to the pits because Michael is out of gas. John Kernan.
Dale Jarrett, your point leader, is in. Left side tires going on. They've already changed right. They've made a track bar adjustment trying to improve forward fight to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Mark Martin, 4-tire change, air pressure, wedge adjustment. The 24 car just now leaving pit road. No adjustments for Jeff Gordon, but he is exhausted. They may start looking for someone to get in the 24 car. We'll update that in a moment. Tony Stewart is down and away. The big concern here on pit road was Jeff Gordon, who's at laryngitis, said, I need ice, I need water, and I might need help. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, another outstanding pit stop for Jeff Burton's crew. What they did is they added a round of wedge to try and help the car because it was loose on the right-hand turns. They also made an air pressure adjustment to try and give him more forward bite. They gave him ice packs and fluids. Now, directly behind Burton's stall is Kyle Petty's car. The hood has gone up on there. They continue to work to try and get the toe correct on that car. Kyle struggling around this race course here this afternoon.
But he certainly did Michael Waltrip a big favor because Michael was out of gas down in turn 7, and there was no way he was going to make it back to the pits, but Kyle got behind him and pushed him to that area. And Michael has been refueled and rolling again.
That was a huge break.
While we have a moment, we'll tell you again about the big activity down in San Francisco. Now, there is the area of Piers 30 and 32 where all the activity is occurring this afternoon. Our coverage begins at 9 o'clock tonight, and we will have bike stunt street, skateboard vert, and women's speed climbing, plus Chris Fowler will be hosting a special recap of X Games' greatest moments, some wacky moments, and a history of San Francisco as it relates to the X Games. That begins at 9 o'clock tonight on The Deuce. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. There's the beautiful city by the bay, San Francisco, and the Golden Gate Bridge to the north. There is a lot of rolled up rubber, marbles as they call them, in turn number 7, and they're going to bring out the brooms and perhaps a jet dryer and get that stuff off the racetrack, because that is very slick.
Yeah, and that's why we saw several cars go off up there. They got a little bit too wide and got on that stuff and shot them out into the sand.
So while we have the opportunity, we'll take a break with more than half this race completed. 59 of 112 laps completed. Back in a moment.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
Citgo, you know me.
With Days Inn hotels in over 1,800 cities and towns, you can go as far as you want. We'll always be right down the lane. Days Inn. There you go.
We're talking rugged, we're talking fun. We ride the best and the job gets done. Polaris ATVs are made in the USA. We're talking tough.
56. 56. Buy a new Polaris ATV now with payments as low as $56 a month. See your Polaris dealer for details.
Polaris ATVs, we're talking tough.
Hardee's All-Star Racing Team Collectors Cup, featuring all 7 members of the Hardee's Racing Team.
Martin's coming in for an unscheduled pit stop.
It holds 44 ounces of your favorite beverage.
even if you can't. Get your Collector's Cup now at Hardee's, a proud sponsor of the Roush Racing family. You have your weekend projects. We have ours.
ESPN The Magazine presents Ivan Rodriguez and Dan Patrick.
You ever get tired of squatting?
In September, yes. Call now for ESPN The Magazine and get this windbreaker free.
When's the last time you sang the Puerto Rican national anthem?
I'm not a good singer. Get 26 issues, a year's worth for just $1 an issue. And remember, you'll get this navy blue water-resistant windbreaker free.
That's warning track power with seeds.
Call for ESPN The Magazine.
Welcome back to Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California for the Save Mark Cragen 350 NASCAR Winston Cup race under caution here at Sears Point. They're actually working in other spots along the racetrack besides Turn 7, but that's where the concentration is, getting the marbles swept away to make the track a little more safe.
And you wonder why they're sweeping these marbles? Because if these cars get in them, either with the front or rear tire, if you're going in the corner and get in with the front tire, it won't turn. You get in the back tire, it'll spin out. We'll show you exactly what we're talking about. There's Earnhardt having trouble up there. Bill Elliott goes off in the corner. Tommy Hubert, same problem, gets in the corner, can't turn. Into the sand he goes. Ever see Rich Bickle, the 10-10 345 car through the sand? Dale Jarrett gets in there, gets the front tires in the debris, will not turn. Off he goes. Wally Dowling back, gets the rear in there. I think the front started first. And Jeff Gordon, he had the same problem. There's Mark Martin, goes to the corner as Jeff Gordon, the lead of the race, gets down in the dirt and gravel.
And that's how Jeff lost the lead. And there are, of course, safety innovations all over the track and in the cars, but there's also some on pit road. Right, Doc?
Indeed. A few weeks ago, after that frightening incident in the CART FedEx Series where a crew member was saved by a helmet, Bill Simpson offered to give helmets to NASCAR Winston Cup crew members to wear. Well, this is the first time we've seen a team actually wear them. These are pit crew helmets. Sean Parker, who's the rear tire changer for Mark Martin. And Sean, these helmets being worn for the first time, how well can you see, and any problems at all?
Well, Jerry, the vision's real good. The only problem that we're having a little bit is just this little cone right here in front. But other than that, the side vision's real wide. There's no problems at all. And you see our first two pit stops have been real good, so I don't see a problem.
You basically wear them during the pit stop only and take them off to do your other work. Now, I understand that Pat Broussard from Racing Radios has wired all the helmets, so you have all the wiring and radio. You can actually hear everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's just like what the driver has. We have a microphone inside in case we have a problem on the pit stop, and we can talk back, you know, to the jack man or the crew chief and know what's going on. So it's just like being in a race car, and everything's fine so far.
So these helmets have a lot of visibility with left. Sean, turn to the side. You see how they're cut out so far on the side. They have great peripheral vision. The only problem they may have to work on is a little area in the nose where they have to look down to actually change the tire. But safety here critical. This is the first team to wear these. We are told that Jack Roush may have the 99 team in these next week at Daytona. Let's check on more safety further up pit road.
Well, Jerry, this is a history-making day for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. For the first time, all the cars on the race track are using a mandatory wheel tether on both the front wheels. Now, the design of that is to encourage the wheel to remain attached to the car in the event of a violent crash. This is the first race they've been mandatory. They were used voluntarily in earlier races this season. Next week at Daytona, teams have been told here at Sonoma they will run a mandatory hood tether. And that is to serve the same purpose for the hood, obviously, that the wheel tethers do for the wheel, to try and keep the hood attached in case of a violent crash. You can also look forward to that hood tether being adapted to a situation where it will also be used on the deck lid. So NASCAR continues to look and add safety measures to both the crews and the cars.
Safety, of course, is on the mind of everyone, especially when you come to a crash like this. Now, this turned out to be a lot bad looking than it actually turned out to be, but look at Steve Park's car completely overturn in the air and come down on all fours, and Steve walked away.
that concrete retaining wall, if it had caught one of those front tires, it might have sheared that tire off, and the wheel tether, fortunately, will be able to keep those tires on.
Saw a few moments ago that Jimmy Spencer was shown as the leader of the race. He has since come in for a pit stop, and so we go back now to the top 5 being Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, and Rusty Wallace.
Hey, man, she's here. Check it out. That's cool.
There they are.
Pick one.
Which one? You like this one? Easy, then. Easy. How about this little guy? Huh?
Yeah. Good choice.
Wet car polish provides a rich, deep shine. But why does NASCAR winner Mark Martin use Eagle One products?
You always want to look your best.
Eagle One, are you ready for the attention? Free Hot Wheels with every purchase of Eagle One wet polish and wax while supplies last.
Well, I live out here on a little old farm. I got a pickup, 2 tractors, a mower, and a little old boat. Never start battery in every one of them. One in that old pickup's been in there over 4 years. Starts right up every morning.
EverStart. All the cold cranking power you'll ever need.
No matter if it's 100 degrees or 0 outside. Starts every time.
EverStart. The name says it all.
Everything I got come from Walmart, except my wife and the milk cow. And if they had a place, I'd put a battery on them.
Sophisticated, stylish, and yet with an exhilarating V6. Chevy Monte Carlo lets you express that hidden part of your personality, just dying to get out.
Mr. Kramer. How are you?
Tommy?
Monte Carlo. The side you show the world is up to you.
Get low APR financing or $2,000 cash back on a new 99 Monte Carlo.
Eagle One wet car polish provides a rich, deep shine. But why does NASCAR winner Mark Martin use Eagle One products?
You always want to look your best.
Eagle One, are you ready for the attention? Free Hot Wheels with every purchase of Eagle One wet polish and wax while supplies last.
They've just taken the green flag to restart our St. Mark Cragen 350 here at Sears Point. Mark Martin out ahead of Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon. Now, Terry Labonte was up ahead of Mark Martin and others when the green flag dropped, but quickly he was passed, and so Terry Labonte has gone a lap down. Stacked up pretty good there back of Jeff Gordon. That's Tony Stewart, Rusty Wallace, Joe Nemechek, and Andretti and Kenny Irwin completing the top 10. On board with Rusty Wallace.
You mentioned Terry Labonte getting past. Something's wrong with his car, Bob. He didn't get off to a good start, and he's running very slow going down into turn 11.
For a taste of the race, let's check out the telemetry from State Fair Corn Dogs. See how fast Rusty's going. His tachometer.
See him start touching the brakes. Goes down to about 5,600 RPMs. Now he will start accelerating, 52. He'll start accelerating off the corner. Up to 8,900, shifts gears. Right on the back bumper of Tony Stewart. Now he'll accelerate down the chute, I think this is called. And he'll go down in the corner to the squeeze, we called it last year. Cannot make any headway and get on the inside of Tony Stewart, so he'll have to follow down the S's. See Rusty touching the brakes just a little bit as he enters these corners. And somewhere right here, he'll just nail it and run up. Watch the RPM in mile per hour as it goes probably up to 125, 30 miles per hour getting into turn 11.
He'll be the slowest part of the racetrack, so he gets down to 38 miles an hour.
Wow. I had no idea those cars would be that slow in that corner. That's right. Where the one car of Steve Park hit just a moment ago, we see Rusty Wallace was about 140 miles per hour there.
He picked up 100 miles an hour from the time he left turn 11 to
John Andretti and Bobby Hamilton are having a good battle. We're looking back from the Briggs & Stratton onboard camera of Bobby Hamilton to John Andretti, who is making his 175th NASCAR Winston Cup start here today. As far as drivers who have competed in all the races this year and did last year, he has gained the most point positions compared with this time a year ago. He was 21st in points last year and is 14th this year. Finished third here at Sears Point last year and 8th at Watkins Glen, ranking him 4th in total number of points scored on road course races in '98. Well, Dale Jarrett is moving back up toward the front, the points leader. Around Kenny Wallace.
That'll be for 12th.
And 43 cars trying his best on the outside of the four. Can't quite make it.
That's the 8th and 9th positions they're racing for.
So John Andretti still trying to take that spot away from Bobby Hamilton. That remains about a car length and a half behind. There up front are the front runners. It's Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, Gordon, Tony Stewart, and Rusty Wallace in the top 5. 66 of 112 laps completed. When we come back, we'll have an update on Gordon.
Remember this, a good deal on a used car is only as good as who you get it from.
Why take chances with your money and your family's safety?
Used cars, trucks, and vans.
From the people known for great service.
The Tom Barton Signature Series.
Toyotas, Plymouths, Hondas, Fords, Lincolns, Mercuries.
Values you'll be happy with, guaranteed.
At the Barton Used Car Center in Suffolk.
Barton, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury.
Once there was a car. This car needed help. Help with brakes, help with shocks, and help with the muffler. The car owner was perplexed. Where can I take my troubled vehicle to have all these ailments properly mended? And then the voice, it came to her.
Take your car to the King. Brake King, 74th and Jefferson, Newport News.
And she followed the advice of the voice, and her car was made better. And she was pleased with her car, and all was right with the world.
Out here, time is money, big money. You got this many men and machines spread out over 30 acres, anything can happen. Some days I just need extra equipment. Dozers, trenchers, even the small stuff. These guys aren't gonna wait around. I can't wait, so I call Nations Rent. They got what I need. They get it here when I need it. It's newer, it works. Got no time for excuses.
Nations Rent. 1-800-NO-SWEAT.
Just because you're in front doesn't mean you sit back and watch the others try and catch up. If you can make a great thing better, you do it. And that's what they've done with new Mobil 1 Tri-Synthetic. That's a bit of a mouthful, but basically it means new Mobil 1 protects against engine wear better than ever before. Helps your anti-pollution gear work better too. For me, using anything less just isn't an option.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
The mystery, the adventure of Disney's Tarzan, now in theaters, is only as fun as your nearest McDonald's. Your heart will pound. Your pulse will race. You'll get a surprise. Buy a McFlurry dessert or Chicken McNuggets. Feel the thrill. Feel the tap. Get a surprise every time. Wild offers or free food. Even the all-new Chevy Tracker. There's only one place on earth to find this kind of heart-pounding suspense. Did somebody say McDonald's?
We're here at a NASCAR race to take a survey. First question, does anyone sell as many high-quality auto parts as Napa? That'd be a no. Does anyone sell more hard-to-find parts than Napa? No again. Does anyone have as many ASE-certified employees? Last question, would you like to get paid for this survey? Just checking. Napa, over 200,000 parts, and everyone's important. We have a new leader who rejoined us here at Sears Point. Fourth different leader of the day is Jeff Burton, who was able to get around Mark Martin a lap ago. He did so entering turn number 11, but really didn't outbrake him. He just drove around him. That's the area of the course they're in right now. And we thought maybe Mark let him by so he could gain 5 bonus points as we watch Jeff Gordon now close in on Mark Martin, but that doesn't appear to be the case because Burton's pulling away.
Pulling away, he is. We thought he might be just late. Here's how it happened. Coming into turn 11, Mark slowed down. Jeff Burton went down on the inside. Of course, the finish line's not too far from here, so we thought, well, maybe he's letting his teammate go by and get those 5 bonus points. But as you say, he's been pulling away since then.
Jeff Burton will be 32 years old on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Jerry Punch has an update on the third-place runner, Jeff Gordon.
Just prior to the last pit stop, we heard Jeff Gordon say that I need water, I need ice, I need some help in the car. Ray said, how's the car? He said, the car is fine, but I'm not. We told you Jeff Gordon had a sore throat and some laryngitis all day yesterday. Was having basically honey and lemon with tea, trying to get the throat better. He still can't talk. He told me prior to getting in the car, I don't feel that bad right now. I just feel a little bit weak and I can't talk. Well, suddenly the weakness became more and more severe, and now he's just trying to hang on. Ray asked him, do you want me to get someone to get in the car? And Jeff said no. Then Jeff's next question was, how many laps are left? That might be a clue. He's about to be worn out. Although he's giving some guys all they could handle that in turn 11.
And he gives a bump to Mark Martin in turn number 11, but can't take the spot away from Mark, so Jeff remains in third. Here's the Bud Race recap. Jeff Burton, our current leader, had led the last 2 laps. We've had 4 lead changes, total of 3 full course cautions, and the average speed is at 76.5 miles an hour, and Jeff Burton is off the pace. The leader loses several spots.
Came off the corner, it looked like the engine died, and maybe he switched to another ignition box. Bill Weber, what's going on?
He only has 4th gear. It's a transmission problem. Right now, he only has 4th gear.
Wow, drops him back to 5th.
That's going to drop him way, way back. Watch as he just tries to putt off turn 7 up there.
And he'll have to make another pit stop, too. That'd be bad for that. But as much as you need those transmissions here.
Oh, and we have Derek Cope into the tires. That's up at the top of the hill.
Yeah, that definitely will cause a caution.
At least Jeff Burton will be able to go into the pits now and check out and see what's wrong with his car. And Jerry Cope had jumped over the tire barrier and the wall up there. We see him moving around in the car.
And I think we're within the pit window so they can go the rest of the way after this. Let's see what happened to Derek Cope.
Comes in the corner, and all of a sudden, the car just goes straight, like the left front tire might have been down or something. He drives into the tires and just drives right through them.
And up on the bank now from the onboard. State Fair Corn Dog on board. There he comes.
It's like the left front tire went flat.
Yeah, that's the way it looked. That's too bad. Derek needed a good run here today, and unfortunately,
it's not been a good year for him. He's missed 6 races. Didn't compete at Pocono last week. And there's the crowd looking down on Derek Cope. It's going to be a while before they get this car off the racetrack. We'll return with the pit stops in just a moment.
He's in the garage.
Hey!
If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do? Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
Hi, I'm Jeff Burton with an exciting message for NASCAR fans. Buy any Exide NASCAR Select product and get a Motorola pager free. It's a great way to enter the Exide NASCAR Select 99 sweepstakes. Every month you'll be paged with another chance to win cool prizes. You could even win $50,000 and be an honorary member of the Exide Racing Team Pit Crew for the first race of the next century. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Oh, wait, man, I gotta find the phone.
Alicia thinks she understands men better than I do.
And Dayanara says she knows what men want.
Guys, I say that what gives Mirror Light its great taste is the choice hops. Agreed?
Yeah! And I say you prefer the great taste because it's smooth. Guys?
Yeah! So it doesn't make